right, everybody, welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are here yet on another kind of preseason show. As we last week brought in the head coach of the Sachse Mustangs, as well as the Eagle-Eye Bill Cerna, we also brought you the leader of the Booster Club, Mr. J.P. Phillips. Guys, when we were doing the show, we get an hour to put together a show, and sometimes we got to leave some stuff as we have to cut that video and throw it on the ground and bring you the show to get it in within a time limit. Now, when we did this video, did the interview with J.P. Phillips, guys, I want to tell you right now, there was a lot of information in there, whether it was the boosters, what they do, how they do, why they do, and all those things, as well as JP giving us an idea of what we can see regarding the Sachse Mustangs and some of the players. So a lot of that got cut up, chopped up, and left on the ground because of time restraints. What we decided to do today, as we are 1 week away from kickoff, we decided to go ahead and bring on JP one more time, but just bring you the video and let you hear what he has to say about the boosters, what they do, why they do, when they do, as well as his look at a little preview of what you could expect from the 2022 Sachse Mustangs football team this year. So all that was, cut down to a few minutes. I'm going to bring it to you in its entirety because I think there was a lot of information in there that was good regarding the boosters as well as the team and the players that are on there. So I decided to go ahead and kind of put it back together. After I cut it up, I put it back together, and I'm going to bring you the whole interview with the leader of the Sachse Mustangs Booster Club, Mr. J.P. Phillips. We're going to do that when we come back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show and your Sachse Mustangs radio and video commentary network. We'll be right back.
At Wesson General Contracting Incorporated, we're your one-stop shop for all your general contracting needs. We are locally owned and with over 20 years of experience, so roofing, gutters, sidings, fence staining, painting, foundation problems, or roof damage are no problems at all. Give us a call at 214-200-5588. That's 214-200-5588. Wesson General Contractors.
The prospect of retirement can be exciting and scary at the same time. At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement fail to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. What is it? How does it work? It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. Because these decisions are so important, my firm has assembled an informational packet on Social Security. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com. At the Jerry Bullet Training Center, we are a motivated team of coaches with the mindset of helping you achieve and reach your highest goals. Having developed and trained over 100 Division I athletes as well as Division II athletes, even professional athletes, the Bullet team definitely has the knowledge and mindset to take you to the next level. Check out our new 22,000 square foot facility and 3,000 square foot weight room, along with 4,500 square feet of outdoor turf and covered training area, along with football and soccer field. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Casso Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance and save a ton. Casso Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CassoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
There is nothing that beats good home-cooked barbecue. Since 1941, Dickey's Barbecue has done all the cooking and you take all the credit. Come see us today at our Rowlett location, 5701 President George Bush Turnpike, Suite 110 in the Target Shopping Center. Whether you want to eat in or take it home, we will fix you up. For lip-smacking, rib-tickling, knee-slapping, foot-stomping, great-tasting barbecue, come see us at Dickey's Barbecue today.
And welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show as I bring in the guy that leads the Sachse Mustangs Boosters Club. It is JP Phillips. How you doing, JP?
Good. How you doing, Sonny?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, talk a little bit about the Sachse Mustang Booster Club there. Because I kind of know what you guys do, but I don't think a lot of people know what the boosters do. So what do the boosters really do? As again, we know it's a lot.
Sure, absolutely. It's my second unpaid job. It's not like my first job's unpaid. This one's unpaid though. So
I understand.
Yeah. So I've been, this is year 4 for me with the Booster Club. I started when my son was a freshman. He's going to be a senior this year. I'm out of here at the end of the season, but we have a really rich history of a strong Booster Club at Sachse High School. A lot of supporters, a lot of volunteers. What we do is really kind of help the program with the things that they need that goes beyond and above and beyond what the district provides, right? So I'll give you an example of it. We went through a drive last year to raise money for new helmets. It's a big thing for our players nowadays, the helmets, what does the locker room look like? What does the program look like, especially in a district like Garland, where, they can choose what school they really kind of want to go to. So we just went through a big campaign this last year, raised enough money, knock on wood, we'll continue to do that, to buy a whole round of helmets for the team. And that's JV, freshman, JV, and varsity.
Yeah, those helmets run like $300 a shot, right?
Yeah. It was I'll let you do your own math, but it was a pretty big expense. But that's the kind of thing that we do. We provide meals for our varsity players. We have a lot of different events throughout the year, fundraisers. We're blessed and fortunate to have a great fan base. And so raising money for our team is I don't want to say fairly easy. It does take some legwork, but you got a lot of people who are willing to donate. You've seen, Sonny, I think you've seen our following that we have at Sachse High School. And so, when we ask, a lot of times we receive. And so we're about to kick off another fundraiser right now, where we're going to do some cards, discount cards and things like that. We're going to kick it off actually this Saturday. But the Booster Club also helps with some of the logistics behind the scenes. We've got photos this week on Saturday, team pictures. We coordinate getting the players in, making sure that they've got the right uniform on, making sure that they're all coordinated. We work it's really a synonymous relationship with the coaches to make sure that we're getting everything right. We take care of these guys, these coaches, because they spend a lot of time. I don't know how many people that watch the show understand how much time a high school coach puts in. It's kind of like they call them coaches' widows, right? In the fall, right? Because they just never see them.
Yep.
And so from dusk to dawn, they're out there working hard, Monday through Sunday. There's no days off. We have a motto at Sachse. You'll see TNDO, right? It's take no days off, and I think that applies to our coaches as well. So we make sure that they're taken care of. Whether it's our training staff needs stuff to take care of our players and make sure that everybody's well taken care of. It's just a lot that we do behind the scenes. And I'll say for anybody that's watching, we're always soliciting volunteers. What we try to do and make sure, I've got a great team on the booster board, about 8 members. And what we try to do is make sure that no parent that's involved in the Booster Club misses their child's game because of it, right? We sell spirit, we're at the games. We want to make sure that at the varsity games, it's freshman parents and JV parents that are selling, so the varsity parents can sit in the stands and watch their kids, especially as senior parents, right?
Right.
You'll see me on game nights running up and down the sidelines with a camera. I do a lot of the photography for the team. We're kind of getting our next generation of Booster Club board members ready for the next year and for the to carry on the great tradition that we have at Sachse.
It's a never-ending battle. It's a never-ending job as what you do. Now, so people get an idea of what the boosters actually do. Go from the end of a game to the start of the next game. What are the boosters doing during that week to get ready for the next game?
Yeah, so, like in my case, we're taking all of our stuff from last week's game, our photographs. We're taking all the all the different awards that are given out, MVPs, things like that, updating the website, making sure all the communication's out there. The day before or the day of the JV game and freshman game, we're making sure that all of our kids are fed and that they have meals. We're making sure the coaches are fed. We take care of them on game day and make sure that they have their meals. We make sure that the varsity players have their meals on game day. And obviously, that's a long day for them, right? They start their morning at school at 7 in the morning. They never leave and then carry over until about 10:30 that night. So we're making sure that they have what they need. It's kind of like if you think about it, I'm always amazed when you watch, let's say, a cruise line or an airline. When they pull into port, right, everybody goes to work and everybody starts reloading and refilling and making sure that we've got all the right stuff for the team for that week. Updating the website, making sure that all the communication's out there. That's one of the biggest keys is as you have freshman JV parents, especially the freshman parents, right? Because this is all new to them. They don't really know how to navigate the waters. And let's just face it, freshmen, some of these kids, including the seniors, aren't the best communicators with their parents. So we try to make sure there's no surprises throughout the week and just make sure that they're ready. Did I lose you?
Okay. All right, I'm back. Evidently, I had a little purge. Evidently, I'm offline there. So,
Okay.
All right. So go back to the start of that question, and then I'll just edit that in. I'll do a flash and bring it in. So go back to the beginning of that.
Okay. So good question, Sonny. So, there's a lot that goes on. People think the game's over and we get a little bit of time to rest, but as a booster club, we don't rest either. I take pictures of the games every week. So the first thing I do, I'll tell you, the night of the game, my night usually ends. If the game ends and I get home at 11, my wife can tell you I sit right here in my office till about 2:00 in the morning editing pictures and making sure that we get all that stuff done. We update the website and kind of like a cruise ship or an airline, when they pull into port, everybody frantically goes to work and starts reloading. That's kind of the way the week begins. Making sure as the coaches game prep for the next week that we are making sure that they've got what they need. We make sure that the meals are ready. The players have what they need. I don't know if you know this or not, Sonny, but sometimes these players are not the best communicators with the parents.
Right.
So I know that's hard to believe. But I spend a lot of time fielding questions and trying to get communication out. We use Instagram, Twitter, all the social media sites to communicate stuff out, email included, and we still get a lot of questions. So it's a lot of that kind of thing and making sure that we get ready. We got a team behind the scenes that runs the helmet, the big inflatable helmet. So they're getting ready for all that. They're doing the banners, making sure we've got those hung up and ready to go, and really just making sure that the coaches. I'm a sales guy, Sonny, and so I spend a lot of time behind the scenes. I want those coaches to not have to worry about things.
Yep.
That they don't need to worry about. Let me handle that. I'll take care of it, and all my extra free time, and I'll make sure that these guys are taken care of. And I've got a great booster club that supports me, from spirit wear to the program ads, to all the things that go on. The community really supports it. So it kind of makes my job pretty easy, as I just kind of get to stand there and look pretty and just, make it all kind of look like a well-oiled running machine.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Sachse Mustangs. This is a football team that, had its trouble the year of COVID and then kind of bounced back after that. The year before that was a really good year. Like you said, losing some players, obviously, Alex Orgy, a big one, headed over to Michigan. I'm trying to reach out to find out how he is doing and what his progression is. But you're right. We got a new football team, as far as maybe not necessarily the superstar, but at the same time, got a lot of quality players.
We do, and I'll give you a real quick update, Sonny. I did talk to Willie Orgy, which is Alex's dad, last night. We had a long conversation. He called to check and see how things were going. And obviously the topic always comes up of how's Alex doing. He said they're in training camp. They just got out of a team-building week together up in Michigan. And, of course, according to his dad, he would rather them just play football and forget about all the fluffy stuff. But,
of course.
But Alex is really, from when I talked to him last and from what his dad said, he's really conformed all of the team. He was a superstar for us. Great leader. So we lost more than just a really good player. We lost a really good leader. We lost somebody who was a vocal leader, had no problem telling the guys where to be, what to do, and how to do it. And really they followed him. Alex, when he spoke, they followed him. So you're right to that point. Going into this season, we're in a different team now. It's a very different team feel because the chemistry is different. It's not bad at all. It's very good, but it's just a lot of level players that are doing really, really good stuff to rise to the top. You're seeing several leaders rise up as opposed to just one or two leaders rise up. Right now I was looking earlier at our roster, and obviously Sachse has this is just, a page of freshmen and sophomores, sophomore, and juniors and seniors. And it's interesting to see how that freshman list, we've got in excess of 55 freshmen in there right now, and school hasn't started. It starts Monday, so we'll have more. And how that kind of whittles down to you get to your senior team that has less players, obviously. But, you can see some highlights and stars and numbers and all kinds of stuff written on here. I look at this, and what's pretty impressive, Sonny, is that, back in 2014, 2015, we had one year, I think we had 8 D1 players that went out on a team. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Right. If you look in the NFL right now, I don't know if you know this or not, Sonny. If you look in the NFL right now, we have 5 signed NFL players. One was drafted this last year out of A&M, Michael Clemens. We've got one, Jared Baden, who's over at the Eagles. You can see I'm a Cowboys fan. That's okay, though. I will support Jared. I'll wear his jersey.
There you go.
You got Divino Zigbo over at the Saints. You've got Michael Clemens, who was drafted by the Jets. Rico Jeffers from Tech, who's bouncing around right now trying to find a home, and Donovan Duvernay, and obviously Devin Duvernay, who was a Pro Bowler this last year, graduated in 2016 from Sachse. So I say that to say this, because when I look at our roster now, we've got 6 D1 kids on our team right now with D1 offers outstanding.
That's sweet.
6. And when you look at that, there's 2 that are sophomores. They're going to be sophomores this year, Sonny. You got 2 receivers that are pretty big studs. You got a junior who he and his brother Cheto and Omichi Feely are both D1 offers from Stephen F. Austin, and Cheto's got some more. Omichi's got some more. Who's our senior defensive ends. You've got Zach Moore, who's just committed to D1 college. I don't know if he's announced where, so I'm not going to say where yet.
Sure.
I'll let him put that out there. You've got Jacob Claiborne, who's a stud. Amici, again, I said, my son, I'm proud of him, Austin Phillips. He's verbally committed to UTSA right now as a long snapper, believe it or not. He's also a tight end. So we're deep. I mean, here's the deal. The wide receiving core. So when I say wide receivers, I'm going to talk about outside, inside slot receivers, tight end. We're pretty deep. We're blessed to have a good amount of receivers on our team right now. Running backs look pretty solid. We've got the running back core is really kind of a 3-headed snake right now, possibly a 4th. And so we've got a pretty good core there. Got a really good, solid quarterback. We got Grayson King, who's been with us since his freshman year, really solid. We've got a transfer that came back to Sachse, Victor Jesus Gutierrez, and they're battling it out right now for the starting spot. that's a good problem to have, right? So
absolutely more than you need.
Yeah, and so, we've got a really strong offensive line. We've got a solid defense. I think our defense is going to be really solid this year. Our defensive front, is really solid. Like I said earlier, led by Jaron Counts, who's one of our defensive tackles, Amici Ofili on one side and Cheto Ofili on the other side. So you got the brothers coming at you.
Yep.
I'd be scared to be any quarterback in this district right now with those two guys coming at you, as well as Jaron. Our solid defensive backs, young. That's one of the encouraging thing is we've got some younger folks. You look at Ivory Chester, who's going to be a junior in the backfield. CJ Wells, who's a corner, he'll be a sophomore this year. Solid corner that's being looked at by a lot of D1 schools right now. Took a visit with Texas earlier this summer. So I feel like, when you look at the podcasts that are out there now, Sonny, I'll tell you, I watch and read all the articles and I watch the podcasts, and it's kind of funny to me because one of them I was listening to the other day talked about how there's our defense is going to be led by a returner named James Adams. Well, unfortunately, James transferred down to another school this last December, but it still somehow made the news as being one of our returning guys. So I really don't listen to that stuff anymore. I kind of formulate my own, and with obviously a lot of conversations with the coaches as well. So I think we're really solid defensively. I think we're really solid offensively. Right. I've seen a lot that have us and Naaman Forest in a dogfight for district this year. I'd like to say that we have the upper hand, because we have I'll say this, 11 guys on both sides of the ball at all times that are quality, strong, good players, and leaders.
When I looked at the things, and of course, when you lose an Alex Orji, you lose an offensive weapon. As of last year, you outscored your opponents by over 110 points. What do you think they're going to have to do in order to, maybe maintain a little bit of that? Because when you lose an Orji you lose that points per game kind of thing. And how you're outscoring teams. How are we going to do it? Are we going to do it in the rushing game, or are we going to do it in the passing game? What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's a real good combination of both, because we have Alex brought a game, a different game to us, right? He was able to play inside or outside the pocket. Alex was an athlete. More than anything, Alex was an athlete. So, Forrest Williams is our offensive coordinator. He's kind of an orchestrator he loves the points.
Right.
If you look and see, the points scored, yards, all that kind of good stuff, man, Forrest is very focused on that, Coach Forrest Williams. Also our quarterbacks coach, which is Torrance Williams. Great, strong quarterback coach. He's really working with this core of quarterbacks. We've got, the two that I mentioned earlier. We've also got some up-and-coming quarterbacks that are – our JV is going to be a solid quarterback team. And neither one of those two quarterbacks I mentioned earlier are afraid to go outside the pocket. Now, look, Alex took some hard hits. If you watched any of our games last year, Alex took some hits outside the pocket that would scare anybody. And so, we've got to be – I think we might not be that same way outside the pocket, but I think we're still strong because the one quarterback that we have runs a 4.5, and he's extremely fast. And he's good about when to tuck it, when to run it, and when to pass it. Again, I said we've got a great receiving core. And so the ability to do both is still there. Our offensive line led by A.J. Rowland, Coach Rowland, is really solid. And so we have an ability to do a lot of things. I think that's going to be the hardest thing for any team that comes up against Sachse this year is not knowing what we're going to do. There's a lot of tricks in the bag, and I'm excited to see what it is, whether we're running – whether we're passing, whether we're running the ball, whether we're running a tight end set, whether we're running, you name it, whether we're running a two-back set, you name it. We've got a lot of tricks in our bag that I think are going to be very helpful. It's going to be a solid year. And I think that, and I'm not just saying this because I'm biased, which I am biased, but I do think Sachse is a contender to win 9-6A this year in a big way. And, we've got a really tough preseason schedule.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we got 9. So we got 9 in our district, which puts us down to having the 7 Garland schools plus Wiley and Wiley East.
Right.
So that puts us down to only 2 non-district games, which I'm sure you know what they are.
Yep.
I'm telling you, Sonny, you know what they are. But we play Coppell first, which is a really solid team and always has been. We played them the last, I think, 4 years. I remember the first year we lost on a 56-yard field goal by their.
Yep. And then you won the next one, and then unfortunately last two. Yep. So.
Right, and then we go. But the thing is, we play a team we haven't played yet, so we go in and we play Prosper in game 2 this year. And obviously, you know what a perennial powerhouse Prosper is.
Absolutely.
Try to say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, you practiced. I know you did.
Yeah. Thanks to my dog over here, I've got that down. But they're a powerhouse, so it's not like we're going to have a cakewalk preseason, and that's been always one of the challenges with this district is walking through district and then first round meeting a Mesquite, or first round meeting an Allen, or first round meeting. If we had got past Mesquite last year, which I don't want to talk about that one anymore, but if we had got past that, who we faced was Duncanville. So it's not like it's an easy round in the playoffs. We have an unfortunate draw there, but look, any given Sunday, I'll say any given Friday, Saturday, whatever day the game is, we can win. We've got a solid team and there's a culture thing going on at Sachse right now that's really cool. And I'll tell you this, Sonny, I was in there. We had our Meet the Mustangs Wednesday night where we brought all our freshmen in and the community in. We had a great turnout. I mean, as hot as it is, we had a great turnout to come out and meet all of our Mustangs, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, and then all the teams, not just football. But when I was in the field house, one of the things that they've instituted, and some people would say, it's crazy, it's not, is if you are not on varsity, you are not allowed to step foot in the varsity locker room. And if you are on varsity and you allow a non-varsity player to come in the varsity locker room, well, there's repercussions for that. Could be running, could be push-ups, could be anything like that. And the reason is because I asked the coach, I said, Coach, what's the deal there? Why is that such a big deal? And he said, because it's an honor to play varsity football at Sachse High School. So we want to make sure that they understand what an honor it is. And so therefore, it's kind of a mystery. They never get to go in and see what the locker room looks like until that day that they get moved to varsity. If they walk into the JV locker room and their locker's not there anymore, they might be moved over to the varsity or vice versa. If they walk into the varsity locker room and their locker's not there anymore, it might be moved over to the JV locker room. Not that that's any lesser of a team, but it's an honor, privilege, and they're really kind of building that. The other thing we're doing is we're starting a leadership program. The coaches are doing this. Coach Forrest Williams is really big on this. We're going to be having a night every week where they pull the seniors together, varsity players, and talk about leadership and talk about what it means to be a leader and how you lead people and what vocal leadership looks like and that kind of thing. So, there's a culture thing that's going on right now that I really like because it really impacts the rest of the team, not only today, but for the future. And, we got a tradition here. We got to keep it going at Sachse High School.
Well, one head coach for the whole time that's been going on, Mark Red Barons has been the only guy on that. And the consistency of that has got to be really good. Never mind the players, but also, as a parent of a player, what's going to be coming your way because it's been consistent and it looks like it's going to continue.
Yeah, I'm reading a book right now that's about East Texas. Jeff Traylor, if you know him down at UTSA out of East Texas and Gilmer. And there's a book that just came out that I'm reading of his, and it talks about his coaching tree. And I would probably take his coaching tree and line it up next to Coach Barron's coaching tree to see, who has that lineage of folks. We lost 2 this year to big powerhouse teams in the state of Texas. We lost one coach who went down to take a great opportunity at North Shore and one to Allen. And, he has this ability to kind of get these guys on a bigger stage and moving forward. Now, I'm not sure if when you talk to him, you have to put subtitles for what he says or not. Because he is from Everman. He's out from West Texas, so he's got a little bit of that accent. But
I like
great
it.
Guy, great leader. What's cool is he, like me and my job, he lets his guys do their job. He stands back. There's everybody from the stands wants to criticize or say, hey, why isn't he in there making the calls? Why isn't he in there telling his defenses? Why? Well, Barron's really steps back and he observes the whole game. He lets Mitch Reed run his defense. He lets Forrest Williams run his offense and steps in when he needs to. But he really does allow them to do their job. And so I think that's part of the reason that he's had so much success in kind of allowing them to be able to do their jobs. But we're going to have a great team. 2022 football team. My prediction right now is that we run district. and that you see us go into the playoffs. Obviously, it's 4 teams in the playoffs. We're big school. There's 2 in the smaller, 2 in the bigger. I think we're going to run the district and have a really good year this year. I'm excited about this broadcast, Sonny. I think it's a great opportunity for folks that don't normally get to watch or listen to the games. My family's in San Antonio, so they get the opportunity to listen to it, and I'm excited about it. I think I'm going to join you a little bit here and there, and maybe give you some insight that I can either make up or it's factual, one of the two. We don't know yet. You'll find out.
Definitely. Yeah, have you in at halftime and everything else. It should be a kick. I since we got the okay to move through, I've just been Sachse Mustangs and all my free times, kind of like you, getting all set for this one. And the broadcast is going to be a lot of fun, and you're a big part of that, and helping us know what we need to know, because like you said, it's hard to find information that's really real, that's out there, and we got to get it from the horse's mouth, and we appreciate that. And
are you calling me a horse, Sonny?
No, just the horse's mouth, the strong man that brings us the information that we need.
And by the way, when I look at your background back there, that's part of what gets me really excited, because when I look there, I look at that number 5 right there. That's Devin Duvernay, who's playing number 13 over at the Baltimore Ravens, Pro Bowler.
There you go.
Look at the top left corner, left corner. I guess that's your right, my left. And you got Divino Zigba, who's down at the Saints now.
Yeah.
Stud running back, and his arms are about twice as big as they are in that picture. You look at number 10 there in a couple of pictures at Michigan now, Alex Orji.
Yep, right there.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and it's so much fun to watch football on Sunday nights and Sundays because you got all these Sachse players representing this year, and what a fun time. Look for Alex, number 10 at Michigan this year, and watch the Michigan games and watch him representing, because I promise you're going to see him on the field his true freshman year.
Wow. That's exciting, because when you think about some of the other guys that have gone out, they get redshirted, and before you know it, they've been at college for 3 years before they even see, a starting opportunity for them.
Yeah, he's just such an athlete. He's such a stud athlete that whether it's some kind of a couple of times a game or whatever, that dude is just a beast. I mean, he's one to watch. So exciting time, Sonny. I'm excited about this broadcast. I think that we need everybody. Hopefully a lot of people tune into this. We need everybody. We want to pack the stands. We're at HBJ. Just if I can give a little shameless plug real quick, we're going to be at HBJ on our first game Thursday night. Help me with the date there. Let's see. Hold on. My memory is as short as my hair, as my dad used to say. Thursday, August 25th, HBJ Stadium against Coppell. We want to pack the stands. That's one thing we talk about all the time at Sachse High School is pack the stands.
Yep.
And we do it. And it's crazy when we look across the way and we see these. It's unfortunate. You see a lot of teams that don't. But whether we're playing here, whether we're playing in Waco at a playoff game, we pack the stands at Sachse. And, then we follow it up, like I said, with Prosper. But we do have a scrimmage coming up on the 18th against Arlington Lamar out there at Arlington. It's one travel game, I guess you could say. We have controlled scrimmage, so a lot of good things to come. If you're not following us, follow all our social media sites for the Booster Club, and at Sachse Mustangs is the football official Twitter. It's a great one to follow as well, because we'll communicate all the goings on those pages.
You betcha. So, and it's going to be a great 2020 season for the Sachse Mustangs. I'm excited about being back in the booth after not being in the booth for a couple of years. We've watched Sachse for the years go by. We know what kind of quality program that it is, and we're ready to go. And so we're going to get set for that. JP, appreciate your time. And all right, there you have it. You just heard from the booster leader himself, JP Phillips, and you got to find out what was going on with the Booster Club, when, why, and how they do everything, as well as you got a little sneak peek on what he thinks you're going to see in this 2022 Sachse Mustang football season. It's going to be exciting, guys. We are 1 week away from kickoff here on the Couch Potato Sports Show over at Homer B. Johnson Stadium. Give a look up right here. You're going to see these posters and some videos that are going to be flying around getting set for this one. But don't forget, we got a pregame show. What we're going to do, we're going to bring that pregame show to you one day
before the actual game. That's right. Wednesday on the 24th, you will see the pregame show right here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And we'll also replay the pregame show for those that didn't see it on Wednesday or leading up to the game, right up before the game. So make sure you check that out. It's the pregame show here in 6 days. So the excitement that is brewing for the last 3 months is now coming to the head. Look out for all the advertising, all the pump, all the things, all the hype that we're going to do, bringing you the 2022 Sachse Mustangs Varsity football team right here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. So that's going to do it from me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and we'll see you Wednesday for the pregame show.